Elemental reactions are being buffed and many more cool little features coming in Genshin Impact 5.2. What's up, guys? Coach Creations here back with another developers discussion 11-6, and I read it so you don't have to. Leave a like and subscribe, and let's dive right in. All right, so elemental reactions being buffed. We're just going straight in, man. I know this is what you guys want to see, so let's go ahead and talk about it as soon as possible. We'll go back and read the other stuff, but here it is: increased base damage for certain elemental reactions. Now, unfortunately, like most Hoyo posts, they don't give you the numbers, and I hate that. I really hate that. You know, it's always a thing with Hoyo that they never really give you, specifically Genshin, the numbers of what they change, which sucks. But regardless, let's go ahead and read what it says. Based on continuous observation of the different elemental reactions in combat, adjustments will be made to allow a wider variety of characters and lineups to shine. Starting from version 5.2, the base damage of Overload, Superconduct, Electrocharge, and Shatter reactions will be increased. These adjustments have already been implemented on the version 5.2 test server and will continue to observe the results and ensure your quality combat experience. Okay, so cool. If you're in a test server, hope you're a content creator, check that out. Unfortunately, I am not in those things, so I don't get to see that, but we'll see how much they change, right? Overload is already a pretty decent reaction in and of itself, right? You know, so especially with the introduction of Chevreuse, you have those Overload teams, which I do play a lot, and they feel pretty good to play, so it's nice to have. Superconduct and Shatter are definitely the two standouts, right? Superconduct, haha, physical, pretty freaking useless, man. Mostly in effect due to the fact that physical characters, you know, don't get supported, so hopefully they give you a lot of stuff. And Shatter is definitely the shocker, because we have a lot of Cryo Claymores and or not a Hydro Claymore, because Hoyo will never do that, but you know, that don't get actually to take advantage of their ability to shatter things. So hopefully, you know, it's to a reasonable degree that it can actually be something useful. And Electrocharge is, you know, pun intended, a shocker, because I use Electrocharge all the time with our good boy Nuvolette, right? And that guy is, woo! He's pretty OP. So, I mean, obviously that's based off, you know, the base damage of Nuvolette, so that definitely can be considered. That's like maybe Electrocharge in that power, but like Taser teams are already like, even with an Animo driver like Sucrose, is still pretty good. So I'm kind of shocked that they would be buffing it, but hey, a buff's a buff. We get more damage, we get to have more fun with it. Who cares, right? That's pretty cool. But yes, that is the jazz on elemental reactions. We'll have to wait until 2 weeks from now until we can actually play with it, and then or creator will actually show it up. I really wish they gave us the numbers, but you know, it's just not a Hoyo thing to do, so unlucky. But hey, it's cool to see, and it's good to see that physical may get slightly better support. I have a feeling that it won't get much support, but hey, it's cool to see that it's there, right? And it's cool to see that they're adding more things to the base combat roster, which is very important. So let's talk about the other features. The Treasure Compass. Discover even more chest locations. All right, let's see here. Treasure compasses can now detect a wider range of chests, such as time trial challenges and cities that have yet to return to the Sealy Courts. Okay, good. This is pretty good. Most time trial challenges were able to get hit, but sometimes the treasure compass would just not detect it. So that's good to just have it flat go across, because these give you chests, right? So you might as well be able to see it from far away, especially if it's hidden in a corridor, right? Sealies are definitely the one that I'm very excited for, because Sealies, you know, you have to find the post and then you have to track back from the post and then go back. You might as well be able to track these things, because once again, they usually give you a chest, right? So hey, that's pretty good. Let's see here. Automatically swap treasure compasses and Oculus Resonance Stone based on the region. Starting from version 5.2, a new quick swap feature will be added to treasure compass and Oculus Resonance Stone. After enabling quick swap, when using a treasure compass or Oculus Resonance Stone, it'll automatically be swapped to match any region you cross into. So this is really good too, because for a common thing is that I usually went back to Sumeru because there's so much exploration I haven't finished, right? In between Fontaine. And you know, I always have to switch out my gadgets. I'm like, okay, here's my Dendro compass. Oh man, here comes my Hydro compass. Like, it definitely gets annoying. So now it should be enabled quick swap. The gadget menu is still a little finicky, but hopefully, based on how this functions, it should replace your compass, right, when you do this feature. So hopefully it works well. We'll see, you know, how it goes, right? But hey, it's a good feature, nice to have regardless. Anyway, moving on to artifacts. Not a loadout, but it's something. I'm just kidding. I'm sad. Anyway, auto luck features now upgraded, handle everything with a single click. To make it easier for you to manage large quantities of artifacts and to make it simpler to understand and use the auto-lock feature, the feature has been optimized. Starting from version 5.2, you can use the recommended lock plan. Once enabled, you don't need to do anything yourself. The system will auto-lock any artifacts that meets your requirements. The recommended general lock plan and set lock plan have preset auto-lock affixes based on common applications. The recommendation artifact plans will be adjusted in line with updates of the game, so you don't have to adjust anything yourself. So that's a little fishy. We'll talk about that in a moment. But basically what it's saying is that there was this auto lock feature, and now they're making it slightly better, because the thing about the auto lock feature is that when it came out, I don't think a lot of people tuned into it, because I think most veterans who are actually like, you know, care about their artifact sets are usually just checking manually, right? But of course, it's never bad to have a feature like this for people who want to just run through their day really quick, because only until now have I really started getting the habit through all the Hoyo games and similar gacha games like Wuthering Waves to properly sort through my gear and actually run through the stuff. And it's definitely cool that we have an auto lock feature and you can do all this stuff. Hopefully, you know, it's pretty well made, especially when it comes to the preset ones, because what they're saying is that we're going to use our in-game data, which unfortunately for Genshin I do not trust very well, because their in-game data tends to not be as accurate to an optimal build, which is unfortunate, right? Because Star Rail and ZZZ have pretty accurate affixes for their builds. So hopefully this is good, because if your preset sucks, right, and then you get, let's say, the new Cinder City artifact set, and then it's like, oh, this one has defense, this one has HP, but that's actually good for X character that you don't own, that's not very good, right? So hopefully that is not the case. But regardless, it's still a good feature to see. Hopefully it works out well. And then we have some more things here, blah 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 blah. You can check it out, go to Obsidian Codex, and then switch this, yeah. So it looks pretty in depth. Hopefully, you know, if you're a type of person who will actually use this feature, that would be nice. Here's another one, and it's good, but I'm also kind of iffy on it. Astral Mark now available. As well as using autolock, you can now use the marketing function to filter your artifacts even further. So you can put a star on it and then it'll have priority on it. That's pretty easy, right? Blah 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 blah. That's cool. Sure, I guess that's fine. What I'm definitely starting to notice, especially now that I use the features more in the other games, is that being able to have a discard button for artifacts is really big. I started using it a lot more in HSR and Wuthering specifically, because I needed more XP, and I realized I'm like, oh dang, you know, like actually sorting my artifacts off the fly to discard automatically is pretty nice, right? What is it? And if I'm not mistaken, right, I don't think Genshin has the feature, right? So what is it? Regardless, hey, a star is cool, so hey, there you go, that's nice. Weapon selection optimization pages, good for refines. It's a battle pass thing, that's cool, nice, that's wonderful. If you buy the battle pass, I don't. This one's pretty cool. Serenitea pot. Purchase wood from the Realm Depot. Starting from version 5.2, you can purchase wood that you've already obtained in the Realm Depot in the Serenitea pot. This is really nice, because as much as they're going to tell you, hey, you should go collect wood, especially now that they're also buffing this Elder Tree thing, because now it's only 5 seconds instead of 15 seconds. That was definitely a big gripe with it. But sometimes you just need a little more, right? And being able to purchase wood from the shop is pretty nice. So, you know, you still have to go unlock it yourself, but I'm sure being able to just grab this real quick is pretty nice. So, hey, good stuff. And then this is the thing we already talked about. Imaginarum Theater is our last topic, and they're adding a lot of stuff that's pretty interesting, and I have a few gripes with it, but overall it's pretty good. Alright, increased blessing buff levels for special guest stars. Starting in version 5.2, the blessing level buff effects received by special guest stars increased by 100%. That's interesting, I guess. I mean, what is it? Because the thing with special guest stars is that it needs to be someone you own, right? So it's like, I guess you can give them more power. Because the thing about special guest stars is that it's really dependent on how they handle the lineup, right? Because this is the one that's currently in the Abyss, or not the Abyss, sorry, for Imaginarum, for Pyro, Electro, and Dendro. And, you know, Xingqiu is pretty nice. Having Shalowan's pretty nice, and then having Layla's pretty nice, but then Chiori is like, what am I gonna do, man? You know, you kind of need those Geo Construct characters to actually make her function, which is just like, okay, I guess they're a little stronger now, but you also need to like basically rely on Hoyo to make sure you pick a good lineup, and more importantly, own the characters too. So it's like, you know, it's kind of random in that aspect. It could just be because we got an unlucky banner, you know, in this prospect, but like it's still definitely not too high. Now that you're unaffected by elemental type restrictions, you can enjoy more powerful buffs. Maybe it's time. Okay. Okay, Wolfie. We are not we are not unaffected by elemental type restrictions. What are you talking about? Anyways, that's sure, buddy. Deciding which characters to add to your party is undoubtedly a huge consideration preparing for combat. So this is, I'm just gonna skip over. I don't know what it is. They're adding now a filter system for you know, types of units, and I think this is okay considering that we can see there's only 4 categories, right? And you know, Genshin's pretty easy to slot in who is who. The most important thing when you add features like this, because Wuthering Waves has this feature too, and I think they've done a pretty good job with it, is that you just need to make sure that whatever you do with your characters is very accurate, right? Because sometimes people can, very rarely in Genshin, can people fill a 2 spot, right? But it is there, right? It does exist, right? And for the most part, it seems to be they have the correct idea. So if I select off field, Emily, Nahida, Shangling, and Bennett are highlighted, right? So that definitely seems to strike well. And this must be the attack, and then this purple one, don't know, right? And then support is support, right? Obviously. I do kind of wonder, yeah, let's see here, whether they're on field, off field, or DPS, support, or survival type characters. Survival is interesting because they have Dea. What is it? But yeah, I guess that would be the consideration for a sub DPS. The thing about sub DPSs is that they can sometimes get a little weird in Genshin, but for the most part, I think they'll be okay limiting themselves to just these 4 categories. So it's a nice sorting feature. Hopefully this is also a feature that we can have in the main menu, because not everyone can play Imaginarium. Like, that's the most important thing. Like, it seems to be this is under the Imaginarium category, right? So if it's only an Imaginarium, that's really dumb, because Imaginarium is the most inaccessible game mode, especially if you're a new player. So I hope they bring this to the main menu, but it's still a cool feature, right? I guess. Let's see here. The number of each category will be displayed in the selected character. Okay, so they get to show it to you. That's useful. Also, this as well. This is definitely the important one, right? Having your elements displayed as well is pretty nice too. So just better UI updates. The last one, this was a really big gripe with the newest Imaginarium. So there was Copelia and Coppelius, which you don't know is the boss that has, well, Icewind Sweets right there. But the issue is that they don't actually let you preview you know, the boss's alignment, right? Because Icewind Sweet has 2 versions, the Anemo version and the Cryo version. And the Cryo version is very important because not only is it affected by Usia, as it states right here, but also you want to bring a Pyro character because it has a really big Cryo shield in which it will not take damage until you break it. And that's a really big thing, because let's say you know, during your Imaginarium run, if you didn't bring Pyro characters or Usia characters, which by the way is really dumb because there's only 2 in the Imaginarium, which being, I believe it's Clorinde and you know, Chevreuse, right? Which most people won't even own some of these units, right? So it's like, wait a minute, that doesn't work. It could also be what, Navia? Well, Navia can't be used, right, in this one, so it doesn't matter. But it was not fun. Like, thankfully I had Pyro units to just shred through this guy, but if you didn't, then you're like, your run's just cooked, and what are you gonna do, right? So definitely this needed to be a feature a while ago, just like the Abyss. You need to be able to see you know, what they are, right? And even in general, like, this should be a feature in the Abyss, because you can still see the Icewind Sweet and it won't tell you which version it is, which is pretty cringe. Like, it'll say its title, like Icewind Sweet, Dirge of Copelia, but then, like, bro, nobody knows what that means. It's very silly. Anyways, the last one going through here, new supporting cast record feature in December, which I don't know why you, this is the weird thing about Imaginarium. Sometimes the features just get pushed back super duper far, be based on its cycle, which is like really weird. I don't know why they do that, but regardless, starting in December, you'll be able to view a record of your characters your friends have borrowed into the supporting cast page. So this is cool. I do like this feature because they won't give you credits, but like Star Rail, you will get to know which character or like, you know, what characters people are sort of borrowing, right? This is also like, maybe for other gacha games it's more relevant, but like, it's just cool to know, right, like which characters who are borrowing, because I always set up my lineup every single time, regardless if I play Imaginarium right away or not, just to make sure that people have something to borrow, because, you know, like I said, Imaginarium is a very inaccessible game mode, and especially now that they've added the new mode where you need 4 more characters, it's a lot harder. So it's good to make sure that you have support units available to all your friends so you can actually run through it, right? But that's really cool. But this is also the most important feature, and I really do like how this looks. What's more, in response to the feedback regarding completing all acts in one go, starting from version 5.2, after completing at least 3 acts as well as your dialogue with Wolfie, you can press the next act button in the finalization screen after each successful performance. Yes, so this is a huge thing. In Imaginarium Theater, you would always get kicked out to the lobby, and it's really, really dumb. I hate that feature. It's awful. Because they want you to look at the character dialogue, and that's great. I think the character dialogue is great. By the way, sign off on your SAG after strike. Hey, you can do that, Hoyo. We don't have any English voice acting. Hey, you should do that anyway. But voice lines are great. I love voice lines. In TCG, there's even custom voice lines for characters, which is awesome, right? And they have really cool comments, on what's going on. But when I'm playing combat, I want to finish it, so just let me go. And that's exactly what this is doing right here. So that's pretty nice overall. That's it, right? I kind of a messy video because these features are kind of they're okay, right? I think they're pretty good. I think the biggest standout is the elemental reactions, but it's really a shame that they don't really tell us what specifically they are, right? I really wish they told us what they are, but regardless, that is the entire thing. Just kind of a quick and dirty run through. I'm fairly certain, right, based on what I was experiencing yesterday, that there is not a discard feature for artifacts yet, which I would really like. And if I'm wrong, then roast me in the comments, it's okay. But what is it? Star features are cool, I guess, but regardless, it's an okay feature. I would definitely like to see, the actual changes that we want, like artifact loadouts, instead of all these shenanigans, to make it easier to sort, because you can sort it with a loadout. Hey, that's pretty cool. Anyways, that's enough yip yapping. We're all done here. Here's all the other stuff we do here, and I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.